Apparently, we've all been sold a retirement lie. At least that's what YouTube keeps telling me. Over this past few weeks, I've seen video after video with titles like, "We've been sold a retirement lie," or "Retirement taught me we've all been lied to." So I thought, maybe I'm missing something. And I watched quite a few of them as well as I looked at the comments. And while I agreed with parts of what they were saying, I found myself coming to a completely different conclusion. Not because I think they're wrong, but because I think they're only telling half the story. And that's what I want to talk to you about today. Now, before anybody jumps into the comments, no, I'm not here to defend work. I'm retired and I'm absolutely loving retirement. I've even made another video explaining why I don't miss work at all. So this isn't about saying work is wonderful, because it's not. For many people, work can be frustrating, stressful, exhausting, sometimes downright miserable. We've all worked with people we probably wouldn't have chosen to spend 5 minutes with, let alone 40 hours a week. That's real, but I still don't think that's the retirement lie. The common message in these videos seems to be something like this. We've been told to work hard, climb the ladder, stay loyal, keep going, and then one day we'll finally be happy. And I understand why that resonates, because many people look back and remember the difficult boss, the work politics, the endless meetings, the commute, the restructures, the pressure. And if that's your experience, then I completely understand why retirement feels like freedom. Mine certainly does. But here's where I started looking at it differently. As I watched these videos, I kept asking myself, who exactly sold us this lie? Was it our employer, society, our parents, our teachers? Or did we simply accept a story that made perfect sense at that stage of our lives? Because when you're building a career, paying a mortgage, raising a family, saving for retirement, you're focused on the chapter you're living. You don't have the luxury of standing back and looking at the whole big picture. And I think that's what retirement really gives us perspective. Not because retirement changes who we are, but because it finally gives us enough time to think about where we've been. Looking back now, I don't feel angry about work, I don't feel cheated, I don't feel like someone has conned me. What I actually feel is grateful. If I didn't have work, I wouldn't be in this fortunate situation I now find myself in. So there's no grey areas, let me explain, because there's a little bit more to this. Do I miss work? No, not at all. Would I go back? Absolutely not. But am I grateful that I had the opportunity to work? 100% I am. Because work set me up, paid for my home, holidays, and it built my retirement savings. It also taught me some very good life skills. It introduced me to some great people. And yes, it also introduced me to a few people I'd rather forget. But that's life. Work wasn't perfect, but life also isn't perfect. And I think this is where we've been told an incomplete story. We're encouraged to spend decades preparing financially for retirement, but almost nobody talks about preparing mentally for retirement. I've actually made a video on this topic, which I'll link above if you want to look into this a bit more. During those decades, we learn how to accumulate money, but we rarely learn how to live with freedom. That's a completely different skill, and it takes some adjustment. And I think that's why so many people struggle when they first retire, not because we're lied to, but because no one really talked about what comes after the paycheck stops. That's how it was and still is for me. Retirement has taught me something I honestly didn't expect. Work and retirement aren't enemies, they're partners. One made the other possible. Without my working life, I wouldn't have this life, and that's why I find it difficult to look back with bitterness. So instead, I look back with appreciation, not because I want it back, but because I finally understand what it gave me. When I was working, there were plenty of days where I couldn't wait to retire, especially towards the back end of my career. Maybe you were exactly the same. If you're still working, maybe you're thinking that way. You count down the years, then the months, then the weeks. And eventually, you walk out the door for the last time. And it's a great feeling. But sitting here today, I don't see those working years as something I escaped from. I see them as the foundation that made this chapter possible. So, have we really been sold a retirement lie? Personally, I don't think so. If we've been sold anything, it's an incomplete story. The financial side gets plenty of attention, but the emotional side, well, that really gets mentioned. And maybe that's the real lesson retirement has taught me. It's not that work was a lie, it's that retirement isn't simply the reward for surviving work. It's just another stage of life. One that asks different questions, one that requires a different mindset, and one that gives us the opportunity to see our whole journey from a completely different perspective. And perhaps that's the greatest gift retirement gives us. Not freedom from work, but the perspective to appreciate the life that got us here. So that's my take on this, guys, but I'm keen to hear yours. Do you think retirement sold you a lie? Do you see it how I do? Or do you have a completely different take on it? Leave a comment below, because it'd be great to hear your thoughts. Thanks as always for watching, I really appreciate it. I'll see you in the next one, and bye for now.